How to use an alcohol hydrometer? It's going to be very easy and simple. Hello, my name is Jersey.
And my name is Ray.
Today we have some Climax Moonshine corn whiskey. What's the alcohol content on that, Ray?
It is 90 proof or 45% alcohol by volume.
So here we know from a store how much we should be getting a reading on, and let's test it and see how good our alcohol hydrometer is.
This is a proofing hydrometer or a trailer.
Also known as an alcohol hydrometer.
Correct.
So Ray's going to gently place it in the jar because we use glass test tubes. We do not like to use plastic. Then we put a stainless steel funnel on top. The hole on the funnel goes over the hydrometer. We fill it with moonshine until it gets up and starts to float. Then we remove the funnel. Ray's going to give it a gentle twist that will release the air bubbles and make sure it doesn't stick to the sides. Be patient, just give it a second and it will stop on its own. Now he's going to get at eye level. And what is the reading that you see?
Right at 90 proof.
Awesome. So that means what percent?
45% alcohol by volume.
So that's a very good hydrometer alcohol reading. It's spot on. If you take something from the store and you take the alcohol hydrometer, it should be spot on. Now I'm going to show you something where a lot of new shiners get confused. In our other video, how to use a specific gravity hydrometer, we will show you how it is. And what did that one do, Ray?
It reads potential alcohol by volume. It reads specific gravity and then bricks. We only use the specific gravity for the most potential alcohol that we can get out of a batch.
Now let me stop you there. This is the one that we did. The hydrometer you have in your hand is what we use. It is the specific gravity hydrometer. Now we're going to go back and try to use that one in our distilled spirits that are completed. As you're going to find out, it's going to plummet to the bottom and you're not going to get a reading. There you go. If you have a hydrometer and you only have one, you need to know which one works for what. You cannot use this specific gravity on your distilled spirits after it's been run through the still. You're going to get it 0. It's not going to work. And you're going to think something's broken or your moonshine is bad. You need to make sure you have the correct hydrometer for the correct reading that you're going to take.
I could even fill this up higher. It will not move. It's to the top of the scale. No reading.
So your hydrometer is not broken. You just have the wrong one for this type of reading. In retrospect, you cannot use the alcohol hydrometer when taking a potential alcohol by volume reading.
Correct.
You need the specific gravity for that one. They're not interchangeable. You need one for each phase of the moonshine journey. If you took that jar, Climax Moonshine, that's at 90, and you cut it into another jar, and if you added 50% of that to a jar and 50%, just say you made apple pie moonshine using an apple concentrate, you no longer can take your reading with the alcohol hydrometer. Once you interject or introduce a sugar content into your distilled finished product, you can no longer get a reading. You can add water to that and proof it down. It will still give you a reading, an actual reading. But if you introduce a sugar substance, honey, apple concentrate, you no longer will be able to use the alcohol hydrometer or any hydrometer, and you will never know what content is in that moonshine.
That's correct. Other purposes for this alcohol hydrometer are for when you are distilling. You can use it when you take your first heart cut, measure what the outcome is coming out of the still. Throughout the process, once I get down to 90 proof, there's two different things. One's proof and one is alcohol by volume. One's half of the other. So when I get to 90 proof, I stop my cut and I go to tails collecting for the next run.
Which hydrometer that sometimes distillers use in their Parrot?
They use the alcohol. Picture this as a Parrot. You would float it in there. As it comes in and out, you have a constant monitor to look at to see what your alcohol is coming out of your still.
So you don't need to take it out and put it in a test
Correct.
jar and then throw away your test jar of contents. That's only if you have a Parrot hooked to your still.
If you don't, I take my last jar, I pour it into there, take a reading, and I have to do that every 20 minutes or so. Parrot is the way to go. We'll get into that video later on when we get into cuts, how to proof down, but this is just to show you the difference between the two and that you need one of these. As Jersey would say, buy a spare, because you wouldn't want to be in the middle of a run, have it break, or you're not sure if the calibration's right. You can use 2 to test calibration, and you can also have a spare if one breaks during the production run.
And we know this from trial and error. We had another alcohol hydrometer. We always cross-reference maybe every once a month, and sure enough, it was off. It was totally off. So we're gonna have to send that back to the manufacturer because it's not having a true reading. As we know, a true reading, we always have like Climax Moonshine or the Smoky Mountain Moonshine. That is by law, it's documented. We have something to cross-reference readings to. So we always have the real good stuff from the store because it's spot on. And here's one last thing, real quick. You can buy hydrometers, either one, without a test jar vessel, or you can buy one as a set with the plastic one that Raymond has there. Point to it, Raymond. That's the plastic one. You can buy a test jar with a hydrometer in it. Highly recommend. Do not do that. Ray, why don't you put a hydrometer in it and show how difficult it is to read it, and put the hydrometer in the glass jar right next to it. As you can see, very hard to read through that. Very hard to read through the plastic. The plastic gets scratched, the writing comes off. It's hard to sterilize and sanitize for, I think, maybe less than $5 extra. If you get the kit with the glass, well worth it, because now if you bought the plastic and you upgrade to the glass, it would have been cheaper to have the glass in the beginning. Yes, plastic won't break if you're out in the woods or out in the garage, but in the long run, the glass is much better to have. Well, that's a wrap, and next time, we hope to start uploading on Sundays. Next time we'll be discussing airlocks, how to use them, why to use them, what can you use instead of them. So, this is Jersey.
This is Ray.
And we say shine on to you all.
Thank you.